When talking about the latest and greatest in mobile technologies, we're all interested in one answer: how fast is it? But with different SoCs, CPUs, GPUs, different numbers of cores running at different clock speeds, answering that question isn't quite as simple as just looking at the lines on the spec sheet. That's something that we turn to benchmarks to try and answer for us. I'm Joe Levi with Pocketnow, and the latest version of AnTuTu helps you answer that. Many claim that synthetic benchmarks aren't a true representation of how fast a device is. There's some truth to that. Benchmarking programs generally run a series of tests through the system upon which it's being run. Various notes about how those tests are run are logged, the results are tallied, and a score is presented to the end user. That first part isn't usually debated, since running a game, watching a movie, or loading a web page are all activities that a typical user would do, and measuring how fast or how high the resolution goes is a pretty good metric. Where the debate comes to a head is in the calculation and presentation of scores, many of which are arguably arbitrary. Where things get dicey is when multiple variables are being evaluated, such as the CPU, GPU, amount of RAM, and more. The part that's not often debated is the fact that the benchmarks themselves become the single variable against which devices with all of those components can be measured. As time and technology progress, benchmarks quickly become out of date, requiring updates or entirely new versions, or they'll face obsolescence. To combat that inevitability, AnTuTu, a leading manufacturer of benchmarking software, is prepping an update to its benchmarking suite. What's new in AnTuTu 5.0? This was a Windows Mobile Pocket PC. Up until a little while ago, we didn't have to worry about how a benchmarking app handled multi-thread performance. All of our devices had one CPU core. Now, however, you'll be hard-pressed to find anything below a dual-core processor, and many have significantly more. This muddies the test results. Measuring raw processing performance sometimes means distilling the test down to the lowest common denominator, CPU single-threaded performance testing. Though more cores undoubtedly bring better performance, many apps have not yet been optimized to take advantage of this feature. Many games only use one or maybe two cores, and power-saving modes often turn off all but one core to extend the amount of time you get on a single charge. In the past, benchmark utilities have created their own graphics engines to measure how well the GPU performs. These tests measure the number of polygons, lighting, reflections, water and particle effects, and so on. Unfortunately, they're not very representative of the games that we actually play. AnTuTu is addressing this by including two different gaming engines used by actual games, Cocos 2D and Havoc Vision. The latter is being used on many platforms beyond Android, like Windows, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Wii, Wii U, and even iOS. The web is evolving, and the pages you view are getting more complex and capable. Shadows, lighting, animation, and more are all starting to arrive in your web browser, blurring the line between app and web page. In the long run, this is a very positive direction, but for now, benchmarking utilities need to be able to measure how well your device can handle content on the World Wide Web. AnTuTu 5.0 includes a new section to see just how prepared your device is for the web pages that are being developed today. Last, but certainly not least, is something that we've seen coming for quite a while, but has always been an optional feature for developers and power users: art. The Android runtime is set to replace Dalvik on Android-powered devices when Android L lands. This new runtime provides added features and benefits that are beyond the scope of this video. Nonetheless, benchmarking in this new runtime environment brings new challenges. The version of AnTuTu 5 that we tested isn't quite there yet. At least one of the tests tells us that it's not compatible with art, and it's skipped. The changelog, however, indicates that art optimizations are being built in, and we'll likely see more progress closer to when the final code drops. So that's what AnTuTu 5 looks like, at least in its current incarnation. It bears mentioning that this is an alpha, a pre-release, just to make sure that the technology is sound and to get it out there in front of people like you and I so we can put our faith behind it. Thank you very much for watching, and if you liked what you saw, please give the video a thumbs up. If you want to make sure you don't miss out on future videos, hit the subscribe button down below, and of course, talk to us on any one of your favorite social media sites. We're there, we would love to chat. For Pocketnow, showing off ways that you can find out just exactly how fast your device is. I'm Joe Levi. We'll catch you next time.